He robbed the same bank 3 times, on camera, in broad daylight, and was never caught. The footage exists. You can watch it. His face, completely visible. His hands, passing a note across the counter. His eyes, calm, almost bored, as he waits for the cash. 3 separate robberies, 3 separate dates, same branch, same city, and then nothing. He walks out the door and disappears into thin air, each time, as if the world simply swallowed him whole. For the investigators assigned to this case, it wasn't just embarrassing, it was haunting. Because this wasn't a man hiding in the shadows. He wasn't wearing a mask. He wasn't disguising himself. He was just there. And then he wasn't. What they eventually pieced together about this man, who he was, how he did it, and why they could never find him, is far stranger than the robberies themselves. Part 1. The first time. It was a Tuesday, mid-morning. The bank was quiet. A few customers, 2 tellers, the ordinary hum of fluorescent lights and keyboard clicks. He walked in, wearing ordinary clothes. Nothing remarkable. He stood in line like everyone else. When he reached the counter, he didn't say a word. He simply placed a folded note on the surface and slid it forward. The teller read it. Her expression didn't change. She'd been trained for this. The note was short, direct. It said he was armed. It said to fill the bag. It said not to trigger any alarms. She complied. He walked out with the cash, turned left, and was gone. The cameras caught everything, every angle, his full face, his gait, his hands. The police had high-resolution images within the hour. They ran them through every database available. Nothing came back. No match, no record, no name. He was a ghost, before he'd even done it a second time. But here's what was strange. The investigators noticed something in the footage that didn't add up. Something small. Something that would only make sense much, much later. He never once looked at the door. Part 2. The second time. 3 months passed. The case went cold. Not forgotten, but stalled. The images were distributed. Tips came in and led nowhere. And then, one afternoon, a call came into the precinct. Same bank, same branch. He'd done it again. When detectives pulled the new surveillance footage and placed it side by side with the first robbery, the room went quiet. It was unmistakably the same man. Same posture, same calm, same method. A folded note, no verbal communication, no weapon ever shown. But this time, investigators noticed something else. He'd sat in the parking lot for 11 minutes before entering. There was a camera on the lot. They had him on film, sitting in a vehicle, completely still, as if running through a checklist in his mind. The plate came back as stolen. The vehicle was found abandoned 4 blocks away, wiped clean. He was careful, methodical, practiced. This wasn't desperation. This was craft. And somewhere in that realization was the most unnerving detail of all. He chose this bank specifically, not for its layout, not for its cash volume, for something else entirely, something investigators wouldn't understand until the 3rd robbery. The strangest part was still to come. Part 3. The waiting game. After the 2nd robbery, the bank installed additional cameras. Plainclothes officers rotated through the branch twice a week. The manager had a direct line to the precinct. They were ready. 6 months passed. Nothing. A year passed. The detail was quietly reduced. Resources shifted. The phantom file sat in a drawer. And then he came back. The 3rd robbery was, by any measure, the most audacious. He arrived on a busy Friday afternoon. The worst possible time to rob a bank, from a tactical standpoint. More witnesses, more foot traffic, higher chance of off-duty law enforcement in the area. It made no sense, unless the chaos was the point. He walked in, joined the longest line, waited patiently for 7 minutes, 7 full minutes on camera, approached the counter and passed the note. Same method, same calm, different teller. The teller activated a silent alarm while filling the bag. Police were dispatched within 90 seconds. He was gone in 80. When officers arrived and sealed the perimeter, they interviewed every witness. No one had seen him leave. No one remembered seeing him walk to a car. One woman said she thought she'd seen him simply turn a corner, but the corner led to a dead end. No footage from surrounding cameras showed him in any direction after leaving the bank's front entrance. He had once again vanished. Part 4. What the profilers found. The FBI Behavioral Unit was brought in after the third robbery. Their analysis of the footage, all 3 videos, frame by frame, produced a profile that investigators described as, quote, deeply unusual. This wasn't a career criminal, not in any traditional sense. His behavior showed no signs of addiction-driven desperation, no erratic movement, no fear response. His cortisol regulation, visible through breathing patterns, micro-expressions, hand steadiness, was clinical. One profiler said, off the record, that he reminded her more of a surgeon before a procedure than a criminal committing a crime. He knew exactly what he was doing, and he knew somehow that he would not be caught. But why the same bank? 3 times? That question gnawed at investigators for months. And when one analyst finally proposed a theory, it sent a chill through the entire team. What if he wasn't choosing the bank for its weaknesses? What if he was choosing it because he knew something about it that they didn't? Part 5. The theory that changes everything. Cross-referencing employee records, contract workers, and vendor access logs across all 3 robbery dates revealed something buried in a routine maintenance schedule. On each date, he robbed the bank. Each specific date, the external camera feed was routed through a firmware update cycle, a known delay window in the backup system. 12 to 14 minutes of degraded transmission quality to the off-site server. The footage still recorded locally, but the live monitoring feed, the one watched in real time by the security contractor, had a blind spot. He knew about the update cycle, which meant he had access to information that wasn't public, wasn't posted anywhere, was known only to a small number of people connected to the bank's security infrastructure. The investigation